welcome to Hollow Acres Homestead. My name is Stephanie. I'm so happy to see you here today. It is Saturday, and every Saturday from now on throughout the entire growing season, I am going to be doing a garden tour every Saturday morning. So this is our very first garden tour of 2022. The garden is not complete yet. I have pushed this back a couple of weeks, and I feel like I have to do it now. I have to do the garden tour, so here we go. Let's see what I've accomplished so far. So I planted 8 fruit trees less than a month ago. I don't remember the day, but we have 2 peach trees, 2 pear trees, 3 apple trees, and 2 pear trees. Peach, pear, plum, apple. At the very beginning of the garden, here we have our gate, and right in there is the pumpkin patch, or at least it's gonna be. In the front here, I have sunflowers and daffodils growing in the front. I'm also going to be putting cucamelons probably in the next 2 weeks. I want the cucamelons to grow over the fence and cover it completely, and I think it's going to be beautiful. So here we are at the very top of the garden. This is going to be the pumpkin and melon patch. I did not have enough soil to finish my beds, but I have a couple. So up here in the pumpkin patch, I am doing the no-till method. First I place down a thick layer of cardboard, then I put down a thick layer of mulch, and now I am adding 6 to 8 inch beds. And every season I will be adding another 2 to 3 inches of compost, which will really build these beds up. Something walked in my beds. We've got something. We gotta catch it. Some kind of animal. Here we have our Grape Arbor. It is not done yet. I have not found the pieces I needed completely, but it's a start. Grapevine here. These are the Purple Mars grapes, and a grapevine here, which are the green Niagara grapes. See, and these are starting to do something, whereas the other ones are not. Let's just do a quick scan whilst we're up here. So as we are coming down the fruit tunnel, off to the right we have raspberries, and off to the left I'm going to be putting more raspberries, but I do not have them yet. So off to my left I have potatoes. You can see the potatoes starting to come up. Now since the garden is mostly natural, I used everything that I had my hands on, which is mostly everything that came from the woods. I have a few beds that are lined with these dead trees here. So I've got this large one here, and then we have this even more large one way here. And these stumps in the middle, I'm wanting to get mushroom spores and grow the mushrooms on the stumps. I would really like to try that this year. I am still looking at mushroom spores. I have not bought any yet. So if you have any suggestions on any mushrooms that I should grow on these stumps, let me know. They're quite large and they can hold a lot of mushrooms. I know they can. So in this bed, this is fruit. We've got 3 blueberry bushes, and I'm going to be putting strawberry bare roots to line the entire front part of it. So we're going to line in strawberries all the way around. On this side, far over there, those are going to be shade flowers. There are snapdragons over there. I've planted a shade flower, wildflower mix. The right side of my garden gets 4, maybe 4 hours of sun a day, and then at the end of the day it gets like an hour of rays. So not a lot of stuff really grows on the right side, and I figured that out last year. So this year, I decided to put flowers here. Here we go. This is the right garden section. I still need to top this off with compost, but you can see things growing through. So we are on the right side of the garden, up at the front. This is the first archway. On this archway are going to be cucumbers. It's going to go this front section, and in the back are peas. Sugar snap peas specifically. I had, excuse the wagon, it's there, it's what it is. I had 2 beds over here in this area, and I took them both out because, like I said, this area does not get much sun. I found that out, nothing grows, so I moved it. I am strongly considering putting a chicken coop over here. It's really about the same amount of space that they had in my backyard. However, I know that due to city ordinances, that was a harder word than it should have been, I cannot have more than 6 chickens. That's insane. 6 chickens isn't going to really do much for my family. So I'm going to get 10. I think I've decided to get 10. The first year that I raised chickens, we raised 23. We had a lot of eggs. We got a lot of meat. We ate the chicken's meat for about 4 months. So I am trying to figure out how much meat do I need to feed my family and how many eggs are they going to give us. That's where we're at right now. So on this archway right now, there are carrots. So we've got carrots on this very shallow bed. And beans. I guess we're not going to have cucumbers over here. I need to remember where I plant things. Oh no, we have a stray noodle. He got away from the pool. Got away from the pool. I'm gonna have to take him back, but not now because I'm doing things. Okay, we're over at the right side. Let's get this done. So I have this very large bed and that really small one there, and I put these out here to frame out the walkway. I think I'm going to put grass down here, and that probably sounds crazy because I can't get any equipment down here because it's downhill and there's roots and there's, you know, it's just a bad area to bring a lawnmower. Gonna mess up the lawnmower, so it's gonna have to be weed eated. But I like the green, I really do. I like to have the green, but I don't want the weeds. And I don't have enough wood chips to cover this area, so I think that grass might be my way to go. Anyway, 2 beds. These are gonna be shade flower beds. They're gonna have snapdragons, foxgloves, some other shade flowers, bleeding hearts. I just ordered those. And these 2 little beds here, and it'll carves out the walkway once I get things going down here. This is my longest bed. I think it is, oh, it's over 50 feet long. I can't remember. I built it just to curve and hug this area. What we have in here right now are more carrots. We have some red romaine lettuce that I need to harvest. I also need to transplant out lettuce. Here we have celery. It's good celery, growing nice. Dinosaur kale. There are more carrots down there. This is a tree that I need to put on the archway, which is why he's just hanging out here. Right there in the shaded area, there's carrots. And down here, I have cabbages. So because the seasons are changing and the leaves are starting to grow back in the trees, I'm going to be putting all of my lettuce right here. This is the most shaded spot in the entire garden, right here. So lettuce will be going here. I am hoping that if I put lettuce there, it will not bolt as quickly. This is our herb bed here. Got a bunch of cilantro already starting to go to seed that I need to come harvest. I have been dehydrating all of my cilantro this past winter. I have a 32-ounce mason jar full so far. This is going to be more. I trimmed up all of the parsley. I need to come back and harvest some of this too. Pull the weeds out. In this bed we have more cabbage. And on the sides, right here where the archway is, I have planted sugar snap peas, and they will be growing up. Oh, they're starting to grow. See? Now I have been talking for months about having a sitting space in the garden. I really wanted to have one. What I wanted to do was build a floating deck with like posts or structures, 4x4s I guess, coming up so that I can wrap our lights around it. But instead, what I did was do my best to level out the area that I had. Of course, it's downhill and I can only do so much. I built a bench out of an old bed that I had. I upgraded my bed, got a new one, so I used the frame to build a bench. I also am going to build another bench with the end part of the frame. We're going to call it the kids' bench. And I placed lights around the top. So I am starting to get my little sitting area. It still has work to do, but it's coming along nicely. As soon as I get electricity out here, I got my lights hung. I'm going to try to shoot a video at night and see how it works. Here's the bench that I built. I think I did a pretty good job. It's a gray bench with black and white cushion. So you can see this, what I'm going to call the kids' bench. I still need to make that, but I think that'll be a good size for a kids' bench. You can see the height differences in it. And a fireplace. Archway here, and I'm going to be putting a melon. I don't know which melon yet, but one small sized melon there, and probably I'll create an archway to go here and put a melon there. So I have archways throughout the garden. I'm growing a lot of things up it, and I'm going for the whimsical kind of feel this year. I want it to be very whimsically, very magical looking. I want to find glow-in-the-dark kind of lights and butterflies that I can just stick everywhere so that they glow in the dark. And I think I need pixies and fairies too. I'm going for magical this year. So in these beds behind me, these two are going to be tomatoes and interplanted with companion planting. There is garlic and onions. There's shallots. We have parsley. I'm going to put basil in there. What we have in here right now are Brussels sprouts. I don't know how much they're going to size up in the next month, but they are nearing the end of their growing season and haven't really done much. And I do think that's just because we had a colder winter than past years. Normally it doesn't get down to 22 degrees consistently for a month. That doesn't happen around here. So I think they suffered. I'm going to give them more time to grow. I'm not putting the tomatoes in for at least another 4 weeks anyway because they all died and I had to start over. So my garden's going to be a little late this year on some aspects, but I have a really long growing season. It is our first frost date is December 1st of 2022. So I have until December to grow all kinds of things. So I am in no rush at all. The tomatoes will grow as they grow. I even ordered some more. So we're just gonna let these Brussels sprouts do their thing. Hopefully we'll get some. We definitely have growth, for sure, for sure. There's also celery in there. I don't know if I said celery. Second bed tomatoes will be in, and then we have these 4 short beds and 1 long bed in the back. This long bed in the back, I'm also going to be putting tomatoes. So I topped off this bed with about 6 inches of really good compost, and that's because this bed was really low in soil. In fact, I probably could put more, but I ran out. I have to get more anyway. I really don't know about the soil. I need to finish the front. But back here, what I'm going to be doing is a wall of tomatoes. So I'm going to be building a trellis that is going to line the back half. I have cleared out about 1.5 feet in the back, which I'm going to really have to stay on top of because I'm already seeing all these weeds coming back through. So I need to get my clippers, come through here, clip it down. I need to pop down that little fence. We don't need things coming in here, like raccoons. Trellis. Wall of tomatoes. This is 8, 16, 24. This is about 24 feet long before it kind of stops and cuts off to the asparagus bed. You can grow asparagus and tomatoes together. Oh no! But I'm not going to be growing them together. I'm going to be growing them side by side. So we have asparagus down there, which I'll show you in a second, and this is going to be tomatoes. On the front side, I planted 2 rows of onions last night. First we start with yellow and we end in red. Tomatoes, and I'll put basil in here, and we'll just kind of see what happens. This side of the garden where we're standing now gets 6 to 8 hours of sun per day. In the summer, it might get 10, but I don't think so. There's a really big bee coming after me. It's really bright out here. Okay. Oh, I have to hurry up. I have 5 minutes left. So we have these 4 little ones here. These are cabbage. There's cabbage and spinach. There's celery, spinach, radishes, and 1 cabbage in this bed. Here in this bed we have lettuce, celery. There's some radishes in there. I need to come harvest the spinach and the lettuce because it is going to go to seed soon. In the winter, this is a really good spot for lettuce. Spring and summer, no go. No. It's going to sprout, bolt. I'm not going to get any lettuce from it. And if I do, it's going to be very bitter. This bed, we have a lot of carrots in it. There's some lettuce there. Looks like it needs to be fertilized. I did not top this bed off with the same compost. I put a bagged compost here, and it's very wood chippy. We are now at the bottom of the garden. There's the greenhouse. And I'm also doing a no-till in-ground garden bed method down here. I like this much better than the beds that I had down here last year. I feel like this is going to work better. They're longer beds. Last year, you can see where it's shaded. That's where I put my bed. It was a 40-something foot bed, and it was just the wrong spot completely to put it. So these long rows that go downhill, so when it rains, the water goes down with it. Nothing has been washed away yet. I mean, I guess a little, but that's fine. It's fine. What I have planted here, these, I don't remember. Hold on. Okay, what I have planted here are zinnias. So zinnias in this bed. This is a foot. This is going to be a cut flower bed of zinnias. Here right now are spinach. I'm probably going to pull them up and replant them somewhere else. But these, I think, were blue flowers that I planted, a mixture of blue, and then this was red, a mixture of red flowers. Cosmos, I can't remember. Red flowers, I remember red flowers. Now in these beds, there is a little bit growing still from the winter. This is what's left. I had filled up this area, but I got like 8 plants left, and that's totally fine. Here in the middle, I decided to put, these are peas. I think they're called Lincoln Homesteader peas. They grow to be about 3 feet tall. So I need to extend the trellis over here. It's so weird. It's like sunny and shaded, and I don't think this is getting it. In this bed right here, I've planted bush beans. So while the bush beans are growing, I'm waiting on the peppers. I'm going to be putting peppers and eggplants over here. Yep, all my tomatoes up front, peppers in the back. I have garlic and onions at the edge of every single one of these rows. Interplanting garlic and onions with your crops is going to help to repel the pests that want to typically come after. Like whenever I plant onions and garlic with tomatoes, I don't see all the aphids. I mean, yeah, there's still aphids, but like I don't actually see a whole bunch of them. And the same thing goes with beans. Beans are less likely to be attacked by pests if they are right by garlic or onions, because pests don't like the smell. Side of the garden, we have this fallen tree. It's fenced off right here, and I have trees. These are all fruit trees that I'm growing. They don't look happy. They don't. I put them outside. They were fine. Hardened them off. Put them outside, and these citrus plants aren't happy. So I think I'm just going to come through, pop off all of these. See, there's growth on here, so that'll be. Oh, that's a kumquat. I don't want to run my hands on that because kumquats have thorns and they hurt. Let's check out the greenhouse. Oh, we're running out of time. So here's our greenhouse. I have struggled pretty hard this year with seed starting in this greenhouse. Last year I had a clear one. This year I have a green one. I think I'm going to put out a review video for this style greenhouse. The planes are coming, so I really need to weed in here. Just in the last 2 days, all these weeds have grown. So I had to restart everything. You can see all of this. See, we have some things coming back. I started seeds all over again. These were transplants. I transplanted them up. They died, so then I put seeds. See, there's nothing growing in there. That's all dead. And here we have more trees. It's a mixture of pecan, citrus. There's almond. I think there's olive in there as well. We've got some trees growing. I need water. Okay. Oh, those are doing very well. I need to put those outside for a little while. All of this is what I grew, and I plan to sell it. It all pretty much died, so I don't get to sell any of this, and now I just kind of have to wait and see if any of this even grows back. As far as like the single-seeded stuff, this is why I don't like doing the single-seeded little pots like this. I like to plant all of my seeds, or at least a good amount of seeds, heavily in one pot and then pot them up. And I do that because when stuff like this happens, it's less of a hassle. Like this is, it's a hassle to have to, you know, go through and do it all over again. Okay, running out of time. We have lemon trees here. You know, more seeds. I want to go into more detail, but I'm running out of camera space. I need to go through my SD cards. Kellogg's breakfast tomato. Those don't look happy. I need to put them outside. Cucamelons. We got cucamelons. And more. So as things grow, I'm going to bring you back through. We'll talk about things, how I do things, why I decide to do things, and whenever I plant, I will also bring you back. I did not do that yesterday with the garlic and onions. It took me like 5 minutes, and I just wanted to go ahead and get it done before bedtime, before it was dark. So, one question that I have for you at the end of this tour is, do you think I should plant grass in the garden or do wood chips? I think at the bottom half I want to do wood chips because I do not want grass growing through my beds. I want to put wood chips there. But there are all these archways and like up here where there's raised beds, it would be so whimsical to have that green grass. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I had a blast. I hope you did too. We'll see you next time here on Hollow Acres Homestead.